On this border video, what does President Biden think should happen to adult men who are assaulting and overpowering U.S. National Guardsmen?
Well, let me just first say we're grateful, and I said this moments ago, to Border Patrol agents for their to quickly work and get the situation under control and apprehend the migrants. So I want to be really clear that everyone who was apprehended by Border Patrol. They were able to do their job, even though it's made it more. Even though Republican governor, in particular Governor Abbott, has made it difficult for them. They need more resources. We need more personnel. I mean, we have to have the backs of our law enforcement on the ground who are dealing with this every day. But Republicans are getting in the way. Republicans in Congress do not want to help. And you have a Governor Abbott, who's politicizing it. That is what's happening. Border Patrol agents did their job, even though the governor's getting in the way of them doing their jobs.
But I get that you guys, you talk so much about having a more humane immigration system. This video does not show helpless women and children begging for a safe place to come in. It shows adult men landing haymakers on U.S. troops in uniform. If that was happening anywhere else in the world, wouldn't President Biden send reinforcements?
So two things. Everyone was apprehended by the Border Patrol agents. That is important to note. They were apprehended.
Were they deported?
They were apprehended. I can't speak to individual cases. That's not something I can do from here. But they were all apprehended. That's number one. And the reason why you're talking about the Texas National Guard, they were there because of the governor of Texas. The governor of Texas put the Texas National Guard there. We didn't put them there. He put them there. What we need is actually real solutions. We need to see resources. The Border Patrol agents deserve resources. They deserve to be able to do their jobs. And we're not getting that from Republicans. They're rejecting a bipartisan agreement that came out of the Senate.
And last one, there is a Venezuelan migrant with 500,000 followers on TikTok who is telling border crossers they can live in empty houses in this country. Would President Biden support a law that would make that kind of squatting illegal?
I have not seen that TikTok video, so I can't comment on that. Go ahead, Akila. Or maybe not. Okay.
Yes. Does the president have plans to speak to Hakeem Jeffries now that there has been a motion to vacate for Speaker Mike Johnson about whether Democrats will support him if that vote happens?
That's something for Democrats to speak to. We're not going to get involved. We do not get involved. We've been pretty consistent, regardless if it's Republicans or Democrats. We've been pretty consistent in that. We trust Hakeem Jeffries' leadership. He's the leader of the Democrats. That is for them to decide on. I'm not going to comment on that.
But if Democrats were to force him to bring a vote to the national security supplemental bill, would Biden then support their support of this?
Look, Democrats are going to make their decision. Democrats' leadership, Hakeem Jeffries is going to make their own decision on how to move forward. We're going to be consistent here on how important it is to move the National Security Supplemental. We've been very clear. It passed 70-29 out of the Senate overwhelmingly. We believe it would pass overwhelmingly in the House if it was put to the floor. And there's no time to wait here. There's no time to wait. We see what's going on in Ukraine, and a lot of that is because of congressional inaction. We can't continue to allow that to happen. Ukraine needs the funding, the security, obviously, to continue to defend themselves, and that's what we're going to continue to speak to.
Just a quick housekeeping matter. Will the president head to Wilmington regardless of whether the shutdown is going to be averted or not?
So you hear us say this all the time. This is still the case with this scenario that we're seeing, obviously, in Congress right now, is that the president is the president wherever he is, and he can do his business wherever he is. I just don't have a change in his schedule at this time.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average has been closing in on 40,000 this week. It's down a little bit today, but does the president see that as an economic achievement, or does he view that, in his view, is the stock market not necessarily representative of the economy?
So while we've said many times here, you've heard that from our economists, you've heard that from me, the stock market is not the economy. We understand that. It is clear that President Biden's economic plan is working to grow the middle class. spur investments in manufacturing. You just heard me talk about what we saw in Arizona, what the president was able to announce in Arizona, semiconductors from that came out of the Chips and Science Act, incredibly important bipartisan legislation, infrastructure, and outperform other countries. That's what we're trying to do here. So record start market highs under President Biden are good for retirement accounts, obviously household wealth, which is why we would never root for a stock market crash or for Americans to lose their jobs. That's